So pitching the media is where a lot of publicity can happen and a lot of really good stuff can happen for your business. Because right now, the media, journalists, producers, they need you. They need story ideas. Now, most business owners screw this up badly because they're just pitching boring stuff that nobody cares about. So what I'm going to do in this quick video is I'm talking to two groups of people here. My gold members, going to have a lot of information for you. For my platinum members, I'm going to tell you how to fill out this form so that we can do the pitch for you. All right. So now, why do we need to collect all this information if you just say, well, I just want a list of, tech bloggers or something like that? Well, that's a pretty big group. So also, you're just going to need to go through this process anyway. Otherwise, there's no sense in just spamming journalists. We really want to make sure that you follow what we share in this video and in the form below. It's going to help you to become successful. The old spray and pray method of just spamming journalists is a bad idea. It's a waste of time. It's going to frustrate you. You're going to say PR doesn't work. They're going to be annoyed by you. So just don't do that. Okay. So again, I'm going to go through in this video some very, very helpful information, and the form is going to collect that as well. So let's start off. And again, platinum or gold, we need all this information anyway. So we're going to start off with a grabby subject line. If you need some help with that, that's fine. If you are on the platinum side, we're certainly going to help you take care of that. A little clickbaity is helpful. Think of like how they tease the 6 o'clock news, right? Coming up, the terror lurking in your basement, right? That's the kind of vibe that you want to go for. It needs to be compelling. It needs to draw people in because that's what sells. Also, it should be a timely subject. Nobody cares about something that isn't, if it's old news, it's already way past the news cycle. They're not interested in it. So you're going to have to have a fresh spin on things. So hopefully you're paying attention to what's going on in the world, specifically in your industry. We send out pitch ideas quite frequently, which can also help stimulate ideas for what you should be pitching on. But honestly, if you're just watching what's going on in your industry and you're the eyes and the ears for this, then you can reach out to all of your media friends and you can let them know as the representative, as the thought leader for your industry. That's just going to make this process a lot easier for you. So in the intro, you're going to want to introduce yourself, but make sure that the focus is on you wanting to serve and you wanting to give back. If a journalist producer smells sales on your breath, or they think, oh, they just want to promote their thing, your placement rate is going to be pretty small. And I want you to have a high success rate at this. I believe you could do it. So you need to think about what is going to be valuable for their audience, what's going to make their job easy as a producer, as a journalist, and just kind of put yourself in that position, and they are much more likely to say yes. Now, you also want to include why you're qualified to talk about this topic. Let's say you've flipped X number of houses, you wrote a book on the subject, just something that indicates why you're an expert, why you're authority on this. And don't get all like imposter syndrome on here. Look, you are an expert. If you've read, there's a saying, it's like, if you've read, 8 books on a topic, you know more than 99.9% of the population on that particular topic. So you're an expert, all right? I just christened thee an expert, all right? You're going to want to provide talking points or things that you can talk about with the viewers. Put them in bullet points. Put them in a numbered list is really good. Just make it really easy. If the producer is only going to spend like 5 seconds looking at your email, it needs to look very. It just needs to be very easy to kind of glance at and go, oh, okay, this is there. Because you might only get 3 to 5 seconds to make a lot of sense. So again, bullet points are good. Short paragraphs are good. Do not send like this big long, gray, it's just nothing but like text, don't do that. Because again, that's just going to hit the recycle bin faster than you can snap your fingers. And then of course you'll want to, in your email out to them, you're going to want to conclude with your contact information. All right. And again, so that's kind of what you're going to want to use for this form. And again, platinum members, we're going to take care of a lot of this for you. If you're gold and you're like, man, that sounds interesting, go ahead and take a look at our pricing and product page and see if platinum might make sense for you. It's not that big of an upgrade, particularly considering all the things that we add into that. It'll kind of help speed up the process for you. Now, let's talk about some more helpful tips in terms of actually going through and doing the pitch work yourself. All right. So for gold, listen up here. So you're going to want to find what outlets you'd like to target, print, online, radio, TV. All of our members can use our free, or not free, but our member media database. Go through there if you need some ideas in terms of maybe industry magazines. Just do some Google searching, come up with a list. And by the way, you can access that directory on your member homepage. It's linked from there, or up at the very top of the page. You're going to want to hover over your name, and it'll flip down, and that's where you can click on media directory. I would remove, before you start emailing, maybe you might want to remove any outlets you've recently, like in the past week or so, you've collaborated with, just because it might be a little early for something like that. But you'll, as you start to form a relationship there, you'll know what, how much they want. So again, just kind of get to know, as you're focused on building a relationship with their influencers, you'll get to know how often they'd like to hear from you and honor that. Also, don't pitch on Fridays and don't pitch on Monday mornings. Monday afternoon through Thursday afternoon, fair game. I would leave when you follow up. I recommend send the initial email and then follow up twice. 3 follow-ups, way too much. Only 1 follow-up, probably not enough. Don't be annoying. Be helpful. Be enthusiastic and excited about being of service. But I would also leave at least 48 hours, maybe 3 days between emails, the initial pitch and any follow-up, and again, 3 times total communication. You can use a mail merge program to track and see what people have opened and what they haven't. We've linked to a couple of browser plugins, some mail merge apps that you might consider using, just to kind of speed up the process. I wouldn't get too mergy and generic with your really, really good media contacts. For your top shelf media, I would send an individual, personalized, it sounds like you are only talking directly to them and you're referencing stuff that there's no way you could mail merge in. That's a good practice. For your big outlets, I would absolutely do that. Okay. If you don't get much interest in your follow-up, change your title, tweak your pitch on attempt number 2. When you reach out, you might find that is going to be valuable for you. And speaking of value, make sure that you are pitching value. Like, what is going to be extremely valuable to that audience? What's happening, in the news story, what information that audience is going to need and why it's important. Don't ever just pitch yourself as, I'm an expert, I'd love to be on TV. Good luck with that one. All right. And then what I'd recommend also is divide up your pitch list into sections. And as I mentioned, just, pitch your most desired outlets first. And maybe do those personally, and then your second most desired, and so on. Maybe kind of chunk them up. You might want to do a separate pitch for, let's say, local media, if you're doing that, and then maybe a separate mail merge for something that's a little bit more industry focused, and use language that's specific to each of those audiences. If you're pitching local media, always stress that you're local. And that you watch their show, and that it would be a great honor to serve the the NBC2 audience, or whatever they're known by. And if you reach out to them as kind of a fan, and you kind of begin the communication that way, people don't throw away fan mail. but they do throw away spammy, salesy, where it's all about you. All right. So don't do that. Instead, start your communication. Don't be formal. Don't be all business-like. Just, again, be cordial. Be friendly. Act like a little bit of a fan. And your goal is to just serve the audience. And I talk a lot about this in my video series. I sure hope that you've watched those videos, because that's really going to help you with mindset as well. And mindset is going to make all the difference between getting a yes and just being ignored. There's nothing more frustrated than working with the media and they just ignore you over and over and over again, and you don't know what's wrong. Some of the things I pointed out, I see a lot of business owners screwing that up big time. All right. So hopefully this was valuable. Again, please get good at this. This is a skill that will skyrocket you up the authority charts. I've been on TV more than 500-600 times, in the media total, of course, over 1,500 times. I've done this a lot. Trust me when I tell you that what I just shared with you is PR gold. Do what I said. You're going to have success, going to build your authority, going to build your traffic, your sales, your speaking fees, like all of that stuff goes up the more you get placed in the media and the more you get placed with other influencers. And by the way, doesn't matter if it's traditional media or influencers, the pitch might be a little bit different, but the rules are the same. So there you go. Fill out the form below. Good luck. Let's do this.